being able to understand what's taking place in the world as a data set, not allowing it to impact you spiritually or emotionally, and allowing that information to be utilized to build the future that you want. It's taking place in Turkey. Somewhere else in the world, somebody's benefiting in equal proportion, but on the positive side of that energy. For all you know, it's a 13-year-old kid in South Africa that's making $40 a month, giving you his opinion, and he doesn't know. You don't know. But when somebody's like, oh, you're a rat, whatever it is, oh, that hurts you. As opposed to taking the negativity, which we don't know the source of it, you don't know the person, you don't know their opinions, none of it, and allowing that to destroy you like a poison. You know, for example, today it is Thursday, February 16th, which is important that we mention the date because Nigeria had an issue, right, with the Nigerian central bank. And long story short, right, and it doesn't affect us what's taking place in Nigeria in any way, shape, or form, except potentially getting those emails from those princes, which now they don't have their wealth, right, obviously. So we're going to be getting those emails. But now we're in a situation whereby the central bank of Nigeria has said, hey, you know what? The currency that we utilize is no longer valid. We are introducing these CBDCs. So they did a recall. They sent out people to go to people's homes, go get all the cash. Why? Because 80% of all of the transactions that were taking place in Nigeria were peer-to-peer cash transactions. So you have these transactions in cash. So you have all the Nigerian people hoarding all of their cash in their homes. They're not utilizing the banks. Therefore, the banks can't do what? If you don't deposit the money into the bank can't fractionalize that money and turn the Ponzi on, right? So there is no Ponzi, there is no printing of money because the people are holding the money because they don't trust the banks, obviously. So now there's banks that are defaulting, are not able to get customer funds out. There's a limit of like $55 or $45 a day in ATM withdrawals. The cash is no longer considered a legal tender, and they're trying to introduce a central bank digital currency and really pushing that all under the guise of we need everybody using financial services. We need everybody using our stuff. We need to make it accessible to everybody. Sure, 50% of people in Nigeria don't have a bank account, but that probably is an infrastructure issue and a reputational issue, right? And a good faith issue versus a CBDC versus having another currency. All the people want in Nigeria is a Venmo-like experience where they can move money from their bank to another person's bank. They don't want CBDCs. They don't fuck with it. They don't like it. They don't fuck with the central bank. They don't fuck with the government. Now you have an election taking place. So they're using, right, the entire political toolkit. And one of the political toolkits is money. So they're using money as one of these political tools to win elections. I don't know where it's going to end. Right. But that point is to prove that fucked up shit is taking place around the world 24/7. We just got reported 40,000 people dead in Turkey from the earthquake. Like, how do you justify all of this crazy shit taking place within 1 week? It's very hard to digest because we're not used to it, right? Usually up until, I don't know, 50 years ago, you would never hear about all this tragedy all at once. And it's very easy in a world that is prone to negativity and forged for criticism and for the selling of blood. And what I mean by the selling of blood is that blood sells, right? You put blood on TV, it sells. You talk shit about somebody on the internet, it sells. But the good stuff, the value, the things that nurture people's souls, nobody shares that. Nobody talks about that. And it's those things that we often neglect, but they're still there. So my recommendation, first of all, is before you even look at the markets, is understand, have an internal conversation with yourself. Before you look at the condition outside, look at yourself and ask yourself, what is my condition internally? Am I swayed by every doctrine that's out there? Am I swayed by every article that's out there? Does every piece of information that's out there move me like a little boat rocking in the middle of the ocean? Or do I have control? Yes, I have this data set, this information, but I'm still grounded in my truth, in my goals, and my principles, and nothing that is around me, circumstantial, will guide me away from it. So being able to understand what's taking place in the world as a data set, not allowing it to impact you spiritually or emotionally, and allowing that information to be utilized to build the future that you want. And unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of negative shit. There's a lot of bad shit taking place every single day in the world, and it can be really hard to deal with and cope with. But at the end of the day, it's ebbs and flows, right? So there's this universal law known as the law of opposites, right? And this idea is that for every good amount of energy, there's an equal proportion bad energy, right? It's how the matrix keeps itself in check, right? It's how, you're correct. It's how the matrix keeps itself in balance. So shit's taking place in Turkey. Somewhere else in the world, somebody's benefiting in equal proportion, but on the positive side of that energy. You could say it's the law of opposites, but you could also say it's the second law of thermodynamics, which is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. And if you look at transformations, it's all kind of like a spectrum. So heat and cold, for example, are a spectrum of what? The same exact thing. It's just how you perceive it. But it's just temperature, right? Or temperature, once again, is a measurement. It's not really real, but it's how you perceive that spectrum. It's the same thing with good and bad. It's all within a spectrum, and it's your ability to gauge your worldview that's going to allow you to navigate that positively, negatively, with a good attitude, a bad attitude, with positivity and expectation, or with dread and doubt. It's all about your perspective, and it needs to be grounded based off of your principles so that then you can absorb all of the information outside and begin to create the future that you want.
Wow. To me, that's a really great point. It almost seems like the negativity is so... online, it's disproportionate to the amount of positivity, and it's almost like it's abusing our like evolutionary instincts to like try to avoid danger.
I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in evolution. I think evolution's a scam. But anyways, I understand your point.
But you see my point. It almost is like appealing to the...
I'm going to debate with that, bro. I'm going to debate with that because I think there's more positivity online. I think there's more positivity online. And I think your channel's a testament to it. If you look at your comments, for every 100 good comments, you'll get 3 bad comments. But it's those 3 bad comments that get you sour. And it's like, fuck. But for all you know, it's a 13-year-old kid in South Africa that's making $40 a month giving you his opinion, and he doesn't know shit. You don't know, but you allow that, once again, a data set to influence where you stand. But I think, bro, it's more positive than negative. It's just easier to look at the negatives.
Yeah.
And when somebody says, dude, you've changed my life. You've probably gotten that a lot, right? I've gotten it recently. You've changed my life. You've helped me become better. We're like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. But when somebody's like, oh, you're a fucking rat, whatever it is, oh, that hurts you. We need to start being able to take the positivity and let that nurture us, as opposed to taking the negativity, which we don't know the source of it. You don't know the person. You don't know their opinions, none of it. And allowing that to destroy you like a poison. No need for it, right? There's always going to be naysayers and critics, but you need to listen to the critics and the naysayers because they may be telling you something that's true, but in a way that they're not able to communicate it because there's emotion or they don't have experience or they're just chatting out of an urge to type a quick message or it's an instant response. But even in those messages, there could be truth. So analyze them from a pragmatic stance and from a non-biased perspective so that you can become better. And I'm happy for the critics that I have. I don't have many, but for the few that I have, I'm grateful for them. They're necessary. They keep you in check. They keep you aligned. They keep you alert. And then for the people that love you and respect you and appreciate the content and the time that you spend to put forth here, those are the people that we nurture and we want to invest into. But I believe, brother, those are the majority.